Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal, and like I always say, if you are somebody that loves literature and is all about literature, then this is the channel for you. In our video today, we're going to talk about the Anglo-Saxon period from the history of English literature. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So for the introduction, right at the get-go, I'm going to give you a story, okay? And if you understand the story, then this entire concept of where did the Angles comes from, who are the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, and what was the condition of Britain like when they actually invaded Britain and came to settle there? What do we mean by Germanic tribes, okay? Who were these people, okay? If you want to understand all of this, just get the storyline. Once you get the storyline, this is an example that I'm giving. This is relatable ideas that I'm giving so that you're completely clear with the Anglo-Saxon period, okay? So I'll tell you this. You look at this picture that I've actually included in the video. Now, we have to go back a little. We have to go back, all the way back to the Roman Empire, okay? Now, Britain, or Britannia as it was known at the time, in 117 AD, okay, it was part of the Roman Empire. Now, you have to understand that Roman Empire was not created in one day, right? The Roman Empire established itself over a period of time and it became a great empire, okay? So what I'm saying here, just try to understand. It started from a point and then you went on conquest, you know, expanded and expanded and expanded your territory. You went on wars, you went on invasions, you allied yourself. There were allies. It can be any kind of alliance that you form with other kingdoms, and you expanded your territory, okay? In 117 AD, this is the greatest extent. I've given the picture, the Roman Empire in 117 AD at its greatest extent. That is, after this, it just shrunk in size, okay, for whatever reasons I'm going to tell you, but this is the greatest extent of the Roman Empire. Now you see over here the this little part over here I'm marking, okay, it's written Britannia, right? It's the farthest extent. You can see it's right at the end, the farthest extent, Britannia. This is Britain, okay, the island of Britain. Roman Britain, okay, was the territory that became the Roman province of Britannia after the Roman conquest of Britain. That is, this whole island, right, it is not that it was empty. It is not like people were not living there. People were already living there, but there was a Roman conquest, okay, war was fought, and then this part of the whole island, Britannia, this kingdom of Britannia, came under the Roman Empire, okay? So it is not, I'm repeating it again, it is not like people were not living there before. People were living there before, but after the Roman conquest, after the war, it became part of the Roman Empire. So I'll read it again, just pinpoint the words, okay, so that it's clear. Roman Britain was the territory that became the Roman province of Britain, okay, after a province of Britannia after the Roman conquest of Britain, consisting of a large part of the island of Great Britain. So it consists of a large part, that is not the whole island, a large part of this whole island of Great Britain. So large part, that means I'm marking it again here, I'm pointing it in the picture. This is Britain, this is Britannia, large part of the island, which means the whole island was not conquered, right? The whole island was not invaded. Just part of the island was invaded, and whatever this whole part that was under the Roman Empire was the province of Britannia, okay? Which are the parts that were not a part of the Roman Empire? These two areas that I'm marking with green, these two areas of the whole island, okay, was not a part of the Roman Empire. And in the modern day, today, what are these two areas? One is Scotland, the other is Ireland. So Scotland and Ireland in that time was not a part of the Roman Empire. But Britannia, or this part of the island of Great Britain, was a part of the Roman Empire. Clear? Now, the occupation lasted from AD 43 to AD 410. Julius Caesar invaded Britain in 55 and 54 BC as part of his Gallic Wars. So, Julius Caesar is the one who invaded Britain, this whole Britannia, this whole area, okay? And it lasted for a considerable amount of time. It is not that he just went there and next day, you know, he just conquered the place. It lasted a series of war, you know, the Gallic Wars. It lasted for a while. And then finally you have Britannia as a part of Roman Empire. Now, After, years and decades, the Roman Empire declined. We all know that. Fall of the great Roman Empire. Roman Empire declined. What happened then? The first thing that happens when you have a weak ruler, and first thing that happens when you wage war, right? Again and again you're waging war, and you have a weak ruler, plus your kingdom is disintegrating and it's becoming weak. Your kingdom is becoming weak. You have a weak ruler. You will have economic crisis. You will have financial crisis also. So now I'll tell you this. It's the similar thing that happened in our country also. If you look at, say, the Mughal Empire also, okay, I'll give you this understanding. What would happen is, people who are living in this island, they were indigenous people. Like for us also in India, there were people already living here before Baba invaded, right? Before Baba came to India, we were already staying here. So after that, when he came to India and he established the Mughal Empire, gradually he expanded the great Mughal Empire, right? He expanded it gradually. After, like, I'm just giving this as an example so that we understand. This is just like a concept, a story. So gradually, the empire expanded. Now when this expansion was taking place, did everybody say, yes, we'll be under the Mughal rule? No, there were so many oppositions that happened. There were so many alliances that took place. Now, then we have the Mughal provinces. The more he occupied, okay, the more areas that came under the Mughal influence or the Mughal power, the more we have provinces, right? We have Bengal province, this province, that province. What is a province? That this is a piece of land and you keep a governor there. You keep somebody to actually manage the place. And that's the idea, that you keep somebody to manage the place. Same thing with Britannia. After it was conquered, okay, after it became part of the Roman Empire, it became a province. So you have a person of power, a sort of like a governor who's stationed there to look after that place. He's like a governor. We had these governor generals even in India, right, during the freedom struggle. So this is like, this is like a standard when you come to a kingdom. This is how you administer a kingdom. This is part of the administration. So the more provinces you have, the more important people you place in this. You have a center. You have a center from where you're ruling. You have the king there. Then you have provinces where you keep governors and important people who look after the administration, right? Same thing even today in our country. We have a center, and then we have the states, right? So you have different people, different important people performing these administrative duties. This is clear. Now in Britannia too, it's a province. Gradually what happened, the moment Rome started to disintegrate, the Roman Empire started to break, right? Disintegrate. And when the fall of the Roman Empire started, what will you do? First of all, you'll cut off your finances, right? You have this island, long, it's far away from the center. Rome is somewhere over here. See, I'm marking it. See, it's written Roma and Italia right there, Roma. This is suppose the center. And now you have such a big empire to manage. You're a weak ruler. You do not have funds, okay? Your empire is breaking up. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut off from the outside. You're going to keep your center secure and you're going to cut off from the outside. So Britain, gradually got cut off from the Roman Empire. Like when the Roman Empire was falling, when the fall of the Roman Empire was taking place, then what happened? They started cutting funds to Britain. Then all the luxuries that they were sending, right, these finances and luxuries and the way of life that people were living in Britain, right, those were starting to get cut off. Now what will happen? I'll give you an example. If you have heard of the Jagirdari system and the Mansabdari system, or even the Zamindari system, right, in our country, what would happen? The king would place, say, I'm an important, say, Mansabdar or Jagirdar or a Zamindar, right? I will be giving a plot of land. From this plot of land, I'll be collecting taxes from the people who work in this land, and I will be paying half to the king, half I'll keep to myself, okay? Or I'll be given this plot of land. I will have people working in this plot of land. At the same time, I'll have an army. I will maintain an army. This is all from our history, okay? Common things from our history. So I'm giving these examples so that we understand. So I'm going to have this plot of land. I'm going to maintain an army. Whenever the king wants me to serve or give or supply men, I have to give these army men to him, like to wage war, right? That's the idea. Imagine if the king becomes weak. And I am a powerful landlord. I am a powerful person with so many jagirs and so many mansabs and so many lands. And I am the person with these army people who I train, who I look after, who I feed. Now the center is becoming weak. Imagine I will have that corruption in me, right? That, okay, I'll break off from the center. I'll declare myself independent. And I have my own army. I have my own alliances. Like, gradually, that when the king is weak, when the power, okay, who your overlord is weak, then you tend to get corrupt. Okay, this is just a hypothesis. I'm giving an example, and this is exactly what had happened in Britannia. In this province, you had a governor, then you had important people who had been given land, who were living there, who went there and stayed there, settled there, who were part of the Roman Empire, and now they are important people. Okay, say somebody from the court has been given land in Britannia, go stay there with your family. For example, IS officers today are given quotas, right, that go, you know, they're given perks. Why are they given perks? Because they're serving the country. So in the same sense, you have these people who are serving the nation, serving the kingdom, and the king would say that, yeah, go, I'm giving you land here, stay there with your family, you'll have full security, I'll station an army for you, you'll have full security. Like that, you have many people who went to Britannia to stay there. Then you were also, it was a place, right, they were maintaining the place, it was an administrative area. So when Rome started breaking, similarly funds to this place were being cut down. Now all of these people of power, right, say one zamindar here or one landlord there and one governor here, another governor there, all these different people, no, they started having that independence, you know, and then they started fighting amongst each other, and also with the indigenous peoples there. Okay, the people who were living there, they were indigenous to the island. They were fighting amongst each other the moment the fall of the Roman Empire started. Now what will happen when the fall of the Roman Empire will begin? When these people will start fighting amongst themselves, that means people from outside also can come and claim, right? This is the same thing that has happened in our country also. What happened? When Aurangzeb died, after him, his successors were so weak, right? His successors were weak. So many Rajput states, okay, many Rajput states rebelled. You have Golconda, Ahmednagar, you have Marwar, Mewar, okay, they were all declaring independence, that they do not, they do not see Mughal authority as supreme anymore. They do not want to be under Mughal authority anymore. So this is historic things, okay, these things are common, these things have been, you know, history repeats itself, like they say. So it's in the same sense, you know, you have Rajput kingdoms like Mewar and Marwar, okay, they recognized the weakened Mughal Empire and rebelled against it. They don't want to be under it. Then you have Golconda, Ahmednagar and Bijapur. These are the states that again, they declared their independence. Like, you know, we don't want to be under the Mughal rule anymore. We are independent states. So, you know, this is the same thing that happened in Britain. You have small states now within Britain who are now no longer under the supreme control of the Roman Empire, because Roman Empire is now weak. Now you have this whole, you know, opening for the Angles, Saxons and Jutes to come in, okay, and, you know, take their place as well. Because, you know, amongst, you know, this is like a story that I'm telling you. Why? Because it becomes easier to understand the circumstances under which these people actually came to Britain, added to the language, to the culture, and, you know, it became, you know, what we know today as English literature is an amalgamation or assimilation of all of these things. So what I'm trying to say is, people usually say that India is a melting pot of culture, community, religion. You know, we are a melting pot, like we harmonize and we stay together like that, okay? So it's a melting pot. The same is almost, I mean, the same thing is, in that sense, is for Britain. Britain at that time, okay, had these, first it was Britannia, indigenous people living there. Then you have Roman Britain, when Roman was, Rome had invaded Britain. You have Roman Britain. Then you have sub-Roman Britain. What is sub-Roman Britain? When Rome actually broke off from Britain, and then you have, you know, marriage between the indigenous people and Roman people. Then, like, for example, sub-Roman Britain is like this, like, you know, the architecture of the Greeks and Romans, right? So they have big pillars and luxurious lives and, you know, bathtubs and everything, very luxurious life they led, right? So when Rome actually stopped financing Britain, right, money, when Rome stopped giving money to Britain, it's not like they just stopped living that life, like, you know, okay, we broke off from Britain today, from tomorrow we will not have bathtubs and pillars anymore. No, they had bathtubs and pillars. Like, people who grew up during that age before the breakup, right? Maybe somebody was 2 years old when they were born in Roman Britain, and they lived in those bathtubs and played, you know, lived the Roman lifestyle, okay? And then at the age of 50, suddenly the Roman Empire breaks off from Britain. You know, there's that disintegration of Rome. So that person cannot just leave his lifestyle, right? That's the lifestyle he has lived with, like, for so many years. So, you know, it was like a mixing thing. Like, there was a changing lifestyle, then there was this Roman lifestyle, there was Celtic lifestyle, okay? So it was sub-Roman. It was not completely Roman anymore after the disintegration of the Roman Empire. After the Roman Empire broke off, you know, it was not completely Roman, it was sub-Roman. Like, there were remnants of the Roman Empire lifestyle, and then there was this new lifestyle creeping in also. So that, after that, we have Anglo-Saxons, okay, who come and like settle in England and change the whole course of the English language. So this is what I'm saying, that in that sense, Britannia, or Britain at the time, was also a melting pot of these different kingdoms and tribes who will come there and change the course of history altogether, as far as the history of English literature is concerned. So I hope that you're very, very clear with this part. This is just an introduction, but it is more or less the story. After this, whatever the slides I'm going to explain, they're going to be very, very crystal clear and easy for you to understand. You'll completely understand under what circumstances did the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes come to Britain, where did they find that opening, and where did they come from, okay? So this is the introduction. I'll just repeat a little bit so that you understand. Roman Empire expanded itself, took Britain under it, kept financing, kept police. There's an administrative system going on. It's a province, okay? After the disintegration of the Roman Empire, after it shrunk, right, after it broke off, then finances were stopped. Equal attention to this island of Britain was not given. Have to remember that Ireland and Scotland were not a part of the Roman Empire, so they were already different from the people in Britannia. Now you'll know that indigenous people were already living in Britain, so their culture and the Roman culture sort of like clashed, or they mixed also. So you would have, after the breaking off of the Roman Empire, there will be sub-Roman Britain, where you have the lifestyle of the Roman Empire and the old Celtic lifestyle also, you know, clashing and mixing and trying to, you know, go ahead with time, okay? Then you have these small petty kingdoms, small kingdoms who declare their independence, okay? And they were fighting amongst each other for supremacy. Then there were alliances going on. One kingdom will ally with another kingdom. They will fight together like that. Sometimes they backstabbed each other. The same strand that history has, okay? History repeats itself, like I said. Same strand. Then you have some weak kingdoms that will come up, and it will give an opening for outsiders to come in and take over this fertile land, this land with a lot of tin, deposits, this land which was inviting to other people to come there and stay. People don't just decide, right, that tomorrow they'll decide and they'll say, okay, we'll come and stay here. People don't decide to just migrate. There must be reasons to migrate, right? So these are all together the openings that the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes saw, and they just came in and took it, okay? And that added to the language called English. So we're going to look at this in the next slide. So let's get right into it. So now I talked to you about the indigenous people who were living in this island, right, of Great Britain. So let us just have a look at them first, okay? So I've given you a picture for clear-cut understanding. This is an old picture, okay? There's Britons and Britons or Brythons or Britons, okay? Britain, Picts and Scots, okay? And then you have a modern map over there. This is the United Kingdom. You have England, you have Scotland, you have Wales, you have Ireland and Northern Ireland. You see over there, I've given the new, a present day map also. But let's just have a look at this, this whole island was like before the Anglo-Saxon invasion. So you have the Picts, okay, Britons. Who are the Britons, or Britons or Brythonic, okay, they say Britons. Who are these people? These were Celtic people. Celtic, that means they had pagan beliefs, pagan system of religion and lifestyle and belief system and traditions and rituals were all pagan, okay? So they actually appealed to the natural aspect of life, natural aspects of nature, natural aspects of our existence. They were pagans, okay? These were Celts, Celtic, C-E-L-T-I-C, Celts, okay, Celtic people who were living there. They are indigenous to this island. They were known as Britons or Brythonic. So from there you have Britannia and then you have Britain, okay. So you have Britons. They were known as Britons. Celtic people who were living there, they were indigenous, okay, before this whole Roman conquest, okay. So you have Celtic people living here. Then you have the Picts and the Scots. I want to clear one thing very, very clearly over here. First we'll clear out who are the Picts, okay. Let's just look at this. Picts over here are, this whole area is part of modern day Scotland. Please look at the modern map. You see where there's Scotland, right? This whole area in blue where I've written Picts, right, which has Picts written there. Picts is a part of Scotland, okay. So who are the Picts then? They were Iron Age people who lived in the northern and eastern parts of what is now Scotland, flourishing from approximately the 4th century AD to the 9th century. The Romans referred to them as Picti, meaning painted people. So they were indigenous people over here. They probably they painted themselves, you know, their face, hands and body. They painted themselves. That's why when the Romans invaded Britain, you see the boundary, right? When the Romans actually invaded Britain, and then I told you they did not invade Scotland, okay. So they referred from the boundary, at least they're very close proximity to them, right? So they used to call them Picti. That is, they are painted people, okay. They did not invade Scotland, but they knew about them, they saw them, they knew about them, right? So possibly referring to their body painting or tattooing. They were Brythonic speaking group akin to the Welsh and are considered to be descendants of the native people of Scotland. So they were a distinct group from the Gaels who inhabited western part of Scotland. Now I'll just give you one, I'll just draw something over here. Western part of Scotland, no, this part in green, okay, Gaels. They said that they were distinct groups from the Gaels who inhabited the western part of Scotland. So this is what I'm actually highlighting. Who are the Gaels or Scots? Okay, the Gaels or Celtic people who inhabited these lands were known as Scots. Okay, they came to what is now Scotland from Ireland, and they formed the kingdom of Dalriata in present day Argyll. So the Gaels and Picts eventually merged to form the kingdom of Alba, which became Scotland. Now you have to understand this island, right? This whole area, this is Ireland, okay? Ireland. See, just see it alongside the modern map, okay? So this whole area is Ireland. Here you had people called Gaels who were living here, okay? Gaels, okay? They were sometimes called Gaels, sometimes they were called Scots. Same thing, Gaels or Scots, both of them are the same, okay? So basically the people from Ireland were known as Gaels, okay? I'm just saying Gaels. People from Scotland, this a little part of Scotland, right, that upper portion, were known as Picts. And this little part in green, right, in the western part, okay, over here, there you had the Gaels who migrated from Scotland, from Ireland. That is, from Ireland, there were some people who went here. They went here, invaded or whatever, okay, they established a kingdom there, okay. So from here, the Gaels would go here, okay, here, and then they would establish their kingdom there. All right. This kingdom over here came to be known as Dalriata. Dalriata, the kingdom of Dalriata. Now these Gaels over here, they married and intermixed with the Picts. That is the people who were staying in Scotland, okay. The Gaels and the Picts, they intermixed and married, right? And then they came to be known as the Scots, okay. They came to be known as the Scots. So the Scots are an ethnic group and nation native to Scotland. They emerged in the early Middle Ages from an amalgamation of the Picts and Gaels. The Kingdom of Scotland or Alba was founded by the Picts and Gaels in the 19th century. That is, they intermixed and intermingled and settled down. So you have the Scots or the Gaels from here who actually go migrate there, okay. They go there, stay there, invade, whatever. They have the system, this kingdom of Dalriata. They intermarry the Picts and the Gaels and they become the Scots. And from that you have the name Scotland, okay. So this is the whole thing. Indigenous people, Britons, who were Celtic people. You have the Gaels who were Celtic. You also have the Picts who were painted people, right? This is the whole thing, all right. Then you have Romans coming in, and their system of religion and worship is very different from the Celts, right, who were pagan in nature. So then you have Roman Britain. We're going to look at that. And yeah, I mean, we already have an idea, right, that Rome actually conquered this area of where it's written Britain, and it came under Roman influence. Now we're going to look at what from where did the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes come into play. So I have given you again a modern map and an old map, okay, of this whole thing. So you have the Britons, Picts and the Gaels or the Scots living there, right? And then you have, see over here, you have English Angles, English Saxons who come there and stayed, okay? So we're going to look at this whole thing. How did they come? And see, there are arrows already given here in the map that the Jutes came and settled here, Angles came and settled there, the Saxons came and settled here. So, you know, this is the whole picture, but we have to understand how. Like I said, that there were these petty kingdoms who were fighting amongst each other, right? So you have this kingdom fighting with that person, this kingdom making an alliance with this kingdom fighting with each other, then these two again, they fight with each other. So, you know, there was little kingdoms who were fighting amongst each other for supremacy, and gradually there were some kingdoms who became weak, okay, or some kingdoms who, you know, wanted to overpower others, but it was like overconfidence, they did not have the power, okay, like that. So it's just like normal thing in history, okay, that we've seen. This is the strand that whenever you wage war, whenever there's this kingdom, and wherever war is concerned, there's a winning side and losing side. So you have this weak kingdom in this area. See, this area, no, this whole area, you have weakened kingdoms there. Then you have Angles, Saxons and Jutes. What would happen sometimes when they used to fight, right, amongst themselves, even in Rome, because you see, these parts were also part of the Roman Empire, right? This whole part of the Anglo-Saxons, this Germany and all of these areas were part of the Roman Empire. When the Roman Empire started disintegrating, right? Suppose there was a person here who wanted to fight with one Briton, okay? They would invite the Angles or the Jutes, say that we'll form an alliance and let's fight with them. That time, Angles and Jutes and Saxons would come fight the war with these people, and then they would go back. This has also happened. They would ask for help, okay, from outside, like that. Now, when these kingdoms themselves started getting weak, then the Jutes, Angles and Saxons already know that this is a fertile land, this is a good place where we can establish a kingdom. They would wage war. Under that circumstance, when there were weak rulers, right, they took the advantage, they came in. Like, that's the thing. They were fighting amongst each other, making alliance from each other. At the same time, like in today also, you see, during the world wars also, one country would take help from another country. And then, you know, that's what I'm saying, that it's not just isolated incidents, okay? So you have these people fighting within the island also, and then some of these kingdoms would ask help from outside. And who were these people from outside who would help? These were the Jutes, Angles and Saxons. They would say that please come and help us. And they would come and see, right, okay, this is fertile land. Okay, they would fight and go back. But gradually, when some of the rulers became weak, they saw opportunities and came back, you know, and took advantage of the situation. So this has also happened. I'm not saying this is the only thing that has happened, but this has also happened. So, you know, the Britons were Celtic people who inhabited Britain during the Iron Age Roman Britain and sub-Roman period. The Picts were an ancient people, likely descendants of native Iron Age tribes who inhabited what is now Scotland, north of the Firth of Forth, and were known to Romans as Picti, meaning painted ones, like I mentioned in the previous slide. So now you have clashes with the Picts, you have clashes with the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, and this whole opportunity was monopolized, and Anglo-Saxons and Jutes came in, okay, and they established themselves in the Loiger. Now, the Britons, no, or if you look at this period is known as the Dark Ages because there is no whatsoever literature or history of any kind that you can actually map out the exact scenario. But you know, there are mentions of this land called Loiger. Loiger means lost lands. That is where these Angles, this English Angles and English Saxons that are mentioned here and English Jutes that are mentioned here in the picture, these were known as Loiger, that is lost lands, no more under the Britons, no more under the sub-Roman elements. These were totally under new elements, that is the Jutes, Angles and Saxons. So these were the lost lands, you know, lost lands. These were new people now inhabiting these areas. So we have to understand from where did these people come from, okay? So I'll tell you. If you see Jutes, they came from modern day Denmark, okay, north. Just look at Denmark and you look to the north. see, I'm giving you, yeah, so this is Denmark. So this is modern day. Where did the Angles come from? Just between the north of Denmark and you have Germany, you have this area called Schleswig and Holstein. Okay, this is the area modern day which is called. This area is where the Angles had come from, and the Saxons came from Saxony. Okay, this is a part which is this is part of Germany still. This is a part Saxony, Germany. Okay, and these were Germanic tribes. Germanic tribes, that means you know, the language that they spoke, okay, it was completely different from the Celtic Britons. Okay, Britain's language, and the Picts and the Gaels, their language completely different, and they would come and their language would assimilate with the language already existing in Britain, so it would add to the English language, you understand. So this is like where the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes came from. I told you it's going to be very easy for you to understand now. It's just this opportunity that they saw. It was not something really something to brainstorm. It's an opportunity that they saw and they took it. So this is the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes. We're going to move on to the last slide. So we're going to look at the languages and the little kingdoms. Like I said, small kingdoms, and then these Anglo-Saxons, Jutes came. Then there was again war between, as soon as they came, it is not like the people who are already staying there. It's not like they will say, yeah, come and establish your kingdom. No, they will fight back, right? So these wars and clashes were going on, okay, consistently. And it's not like the Angles and Jutes did not fight themselves. They fought between themselves also. So that's what was happening, okay? So if you look at the map here, these are the main Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, small, that gradually spread out, okay, towards the end. This is the Anglo-Saxon kingdom altogether, small kingdoms in this island, okay, of Britannia now. So you have Northumbria, you have Mercia, East Anglia, Essex, Kent, Sussex and Wessex. Wessex from Thomas Hardy. You'll know that Kent is mentioned in Shakespeare. You'll have all of these things, okay, all of these names that will come repeatedly as we do the history of English literature, as we study the works. And this is Anglo-Saxon Britannia, okay, this is Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. These are small main kingdoms that you have to remember. These are the names. And now let's go to the language. Now if you have understood this video, you'll definitely understand the language. It has its roots in Roman languages, Germanic languages and Celtic languages. So now if anybody asks you about, you know, the Old English, what was Old English? Old English was an amalgamation of Latin, which was Roman Britain, of Old Norse, which is Germanic languages of the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, Old Norse, and Celtic languages. That is when it was not under the Roman Empire. So first, what is Old English? Old English is an assimilation, amalgamation, together, okay? Old English is made up of these elements, these languages. Old English has to do with when Britain was not a part of the Roman Empire, that is Celtic languages. When Britain became a part of the Roman Empire and sub-Roman Empire, Latin, and then you have the invasion by the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, so you have Old Norse. These are languages spoken by these Germanic tribes. So again, it has its roots in Roman languages, Germanic languages, Celtic languages, Latin, Old Norse, Celtic. Together they are known as Old English. So this is Old English literature. We have literature from you know, these literary trends and literary say works, okay, from whatever will come out of this period will be in Old English. So this is the historical background. We're going to look at the literary background and the works from the Anglo-Saxon period in my next video. So I really hope that this video has been clear and helpful for you all, and if it has, then please don't forget to share the video, subscribe to my channel and like the video if it was of help to you. And till we meet again, I really hope that you stay healthy and happy. See you in the next one, guys.